Creations. If you're new to my channel and you're stopping by for the first time, thank you for stopping by. Welcome to my channel. Stick around a while by clicking that red button for more crafting on a budget, more everything on a budget videos to come. And if you click it again when the bell appears, YouTube should notify you every time I upload a new video, depending on the option that you choose in the drop-down menu of the bell. If you're interested in following me on social media, you can find those links, you guessed it, in the description box below. What have I got going on for you for today? Today I am going to be showing you, oh my word, what I turn paper towel into. Yes, I said paper towel. I'd say it's a bit better quality than what you would get at the Dollar Tree. It is a super absorbent paper towel, and that is kind of what you want to go for this. One roll of paper towel is going to get you several of this DIY. This DIY is so budget friendly and the outcome is amazing. I can't wait to show you what I do with paper towel, what I turn it into. This is one you are not going to want to miss. So let's not waste any more time. Let's jump into it and let's do some crafting on a budget with paper towel. Alrighty, getting started with today's DIY, I will be using 4 bottles of Dollar Tree's Jot Glue. What's great about this glue is it comes in a 2-pack, so you're getting 2 for $1. Any white glue will do. I do suggest white glue over a clear gel glue. I'm going to start off with just 1 bottle of glue and I'm going to empty that into a bowl. And to this glue, I am going to add water, but I'm only going to add a little at a time because I want to thin out this glue a bit. I don't want to thin it out to the point where it's really runny. I just want to thin it out a bit. I still want it to have a bit of consistency to it, a little bit of thickness. Regular glue is a bit too thick for this DIY, and so you'll see that as I'm adding it, you'll see the consistency that I have. And it's that of maybe heavy creamer or that whipping cream that you would use, just something a bit thick. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, this DIY can get a bit messy, but I promise you the outcome is worth it. So to protect my surface, I'm gonna use a trash bag and I'm just gonna tape down those corners just to keep it in place. The paper towel rolls that I'm using are the ones that have the half sheets. So you're gonna need 2 sets of 4 and we're gonna fold it in half. Now, if you're using the paper towel rolls that have the full sheets, you're just gonna need 2. And again, you're gonna fold them in half and it's gonna give you the same size. We're gonna take our 2 sets of paper towels and separately we are going to submerge them into our water glue mixture. Now, I did find that if I dampened the paper towel with just regular water before I submerged it, I used a bit less of the glue because the paper towel is going to absorb it. It made it get wetter quicker, I guess you could say. Either way, it doesn't really matter. You may need an extra bottle of glue if you don't wet your paper towels ahead of time. Once I've got my paper towels good and submerged, you do want to wring them out because you don't want them sopping wet and dripping. And I'm going to do this to both sets of paper towels that I folded in half. Again, if it is the larger paper towels, it is your set of 2 that you folded in half. And if it's the half paper towels, it is your set of 4 that you folded in half. I'm going to lay out the paper towel, and when I'm laying it out, I really want to get it as straight and as true to form as I can. You want to get some of those wrinkles out. If there's any folds, you want to get those out. And I'm going to lay it out longwise as you see it here, up and down instead of side to side. Once they're good and laid out, I'm going to take either end is fine at the top of the paper towels and I'm gonna kind of gather them together. I want the top gathered and I want the bottom kind of spread out. And we're going for the look of, I guess, a skirt maybe, where it would be gathered and pleated at the top and it kind of opens up near the bottom. And you can see how I'm doing it here. And again, you want to kind of get it as straight as you can. I'm gonna put some pleats in this from the point where I gather it down. And so you can do that just by kind of lifting up the paper towel and pulling it up as you see me doing here. It really isn't hard to do. And again, if you're using a good quality paper towel, it's gonna be less likely to rip because it's a super absorbent paper towel. If you're using a lower quality paper towel, it is going to be more likely to rip. And if it does rip, it really isn't that big of a deal. You can do some patchwork on it just by taking a scrap piece of paper towel and putting it in that water and glue mixture and placing it over the tear. In my case, it was on the edge here where the two paper towels met and there was that seam. And so I went ahead and just folded it over that tear, and I'm going to do it a couple of paper towel layers thick just to give it some strength so it doesn't tear again. And just like that, we are good as new and no fuss, no muss. Once I'm done patching this piece up, I am done with this bottom half. You should have something that looks very similar to this. Don't worry about perfection, because the more imperfect this DIY is, the more perfect it'll look. For this next piece, I'll be using 6 paper towels, and I'm going to fold those in half. So I've got 3 on each side. If you're using the larger ones, you're going to use 3 paper towels and fold them in half. With this set of paper towels, I did take a squirt bottle and kind of spray and mist the paper towels before I put them in the glue, and that seemed to work a bit better. And so again, once I've got them good and submerged and absorbing that glue, I'm going to wring it out. This set of paper towels is going to be laid down horizontally instead of vertically. Once I've got it good and straightened out, I'm going to gather together that center, kind of pinch it together and just straighten out those edges. You can probably already tell where I'm going with this. Just stick with me, because I promise you this really is an easy DIY that anybody can do with an amazing outcome. So as I'm straightening it out, once I've pinched that center together, I do want to add some pleats or ripples coming from the center on out. I'm going to do that on both sides of these wings, because that's what they are, wings of an angel. And this is what your paper towels should look like. Now these are 2 separate pieces as of now, so don't worry about placing the wings on top of the dress and having them stick together, because we're going to take care of that a bit later. This next set of paper towels that I'm wetting down, I believe, is a set of 8 paper towels. And again, I did wet these a bit with my squirt bottle before I submerged them in the glue. Now you may need to do more batches of glue every now and again, and you want to do that. You don't want to make one full batch, because your glue will start to dry out as the project goes on. And so it's easier just to make it as you need it. With this set, I am balling it up because we are making the angel's head. And so you really are going to add as much paper towel or as little paper towel as you need to make the angel's head the size you want it. And so I am trying to make this proportionate with her. And so I'm just gonna kind of make it, I guess, a softball size, maybe a little smaller than a softball. And so that's the size I'm happy with. Once I've got the ball size, or the head size, I guess, that I'm happy with, I'm gonna take another set of 2 paper towels. I'm gonna rip these in half, and just using 1 sheet of paper towel, I'm gonna cover the ball that we just made with the other paper towel. And this is to give us more of a smooth surface. And this is so later on we can paint a face on it and it doesn't look like a wad of paper towels that we just balled together. And you do need 2 sets of paper towels for this, because the first set I found that you could still kind of see the balled up paper towel, and by placing a second set over that first set that we just did, oh my word, I'm making this confusing. You can see how it worked out. Don't worry about what the back of the ball looks like, because it's not going to show. Now, because I want my angel to have a halo, I'm going to take about 3 paper towels. And with this set, we're going to use 1 individual paper towel at a time, and I'm going to fold it in half long ways, giving us a longer piece of paper towel. Then I'm just going to simply twist it, and I'm going to keep twisting it while it's full of glue. I'm going to meet my 2 ends together, and I'm going to twist it again. Now this is going to be, I guess, the stick that holds the halo up on our angel. And you can see that I was having a bit of trouble with it, but try again and you'll get it. I'm human. I'm just like you. I have troubles with my DIY too sometimes. So once I've got it good in place and somewhat wrung out, the more glue the better on this one, because you want these pieces to stay twisted. And if you need to put something on each end just to hold it in place, you can. Later on, I ended up putting a piece of painter's tape across both ends on the trash bag just to hold it in place. I'm going to take a second paper towel, and again, I'm going to fold it in half long ways because we need to make the ring. And so with this, I'm going to do it basically the same way, just kind of twist it to get that, I guess, a more sturdy piece is what we're going for with this. And once I've got it good and twisted, I'm going to go ahead and just make a ring out of it, connecting the two ends. Once I've got these two ends placed together, I'm going to take another piece of paper towel, submerge it in the glue, and I'm going to wrap it around those ends just to keep them together. All the pieces for my angel are done. Now I'm taking some just thicker glue. I didn't water this down at all, and a paintbrush, and I'm just kind of running over some of these pieces just to stiffen them up a bit. I really want these pieces to be good and stiff when they dry. And so since I had some glue left, I decided, heck, I'm gonna just go back over this for some reinforcement because it can't hurt. Honestly, from start to finish, putting these paper towel pieces together for this angel, it took me maybe 15 or 20 minutes. It really does kind of move along pretty quickly. When you're adding the glue, I do want to say you want to add more glue to the areas where we pleated and gathered the pieces, again, just to make sure that they get good and hard when they dry. And you can see here how I thought it was painter's tape. It must have been masking tape, how I went ahead and just placed a piece over the stick part of the halo just to keep it from untwisting so it would dry and harden the way I want it to. When I did this piece, I believe I did it at about 7:30, 8 o'clock at night with the intention of letting this set overnight to dry. It is the next morning, everything is good and dry, stuck in place, nice and stiff the way I want it. My piece here is going to now stay in place. I am happy with it. My halo is perfect. You can't see those ends where we put it together. I couldn't be happier with how this is looking. You can see that this is how the halo is going to go. We're probably going to have to cut it to size, but this just gives you the idea. I am so excited to show you the rest of this. You can see that these pieces here, they peel up from the bag easily, which is what you wanted, and this is a good solid piece. Did you know we can paint paper towel? That's what we're gonna do, using some of Waverly's chalk paint in the color of ivory. I'm gonna give both these pieces just a good single coat of this chalk paint. Because we sealed the paper towel, this paint is gonna go on nice and thick and we're gonna get good coverage. And again, we're really not looking for perfection with this because you know me, I don't like perfect. Again, the more imperfect it is, in this case, the more perfect this DIY is gonna look. For the halo, I will be using some of this Renaissance Brown by Dazzling Metallics. This brown is gorgeous. Now, again, if these colors are not colors that you like, I say get creative, make it your own, do it to suit your liking, your decor. You all know me, I am a very rustic person. I love my earth tones, I love my browns, and so I wanna go a bit untraditional with this. I don't have a lot of gold in my house, and so because I don't have gold, I decided that I would go with this metallic Renaissance brown, which still has that shimmer, kind of gives it that brushed bronze, oil rubbed bronze look to it. And so I think that this is going to suit my decor perfectly. You could even go with like a silver if you wanted, or even a rose gold if you wanted. I mean, really get creative and make it your own. And so I'm going to give the stick part of the halo a good coat of this and the ring itself. For the face of my angel, I'm using what paint I had on hand, so I will be using a combination of this Americana Fawn and this Warm Buff by Apple Barrel. Fall has hit in my area, so I'm gonna go ahead and pop these in my oven at 135 degrees to help speed up the drying process for about 10 minutes. I bet you I don't even have to tell you where I'm going with this when I show you Tim Holtz Distress ink in the color of Walnut Stain and this black ink pad by Craftsmart. Yes, you guessed it. I am going to add some depth, add some dimension, give this a bit of an aged look. And I'm going to do that with my paintbrush, just dipping it into each of these ink pads to get a nice dark brown. And I'm going to do that along the edges of the dress itself. And once I do the dress, I figured I'd go down some of the pleats and just kind of give that a bit of dimension so you could really see those pleats and make them stand out a bit more. Now, again, if this is not a look that you go for, you don't have to do this, but I will tell you that by not adding dimension to the edges, it is going to kind of dull out the dress itself. So whether you use a gold or a yellow or a peach, I feel like it is a part of the project that needs to be done because it really does add so much to the piece. On the center part of the wings where I gathered it, it kind of separates a bit and I don't want that. And so I'm gonna take some hot glue and I'm gonna place it right in between those gathered areas just to really stick them together and keep them together. This is my absolute favorite part of every DIY, actually putting it together to see the outcome of all of our hard work. I'm gonna go ahead and place a fair amount of hot glue on the top part of the dress where we gathered it together, and then I'm just gonna simply place the wings right on top. Now, I will tell you that with the paper towel at the bottom where the dress is, you wanna make sure and just kind of adjust that dress as you're placing the two pieces together because paper towel can be a bit uneven and you don't want your dress to look lopsided. And so you wanna do that before your hot glue dries. Then I'm gonna go ahead and flip it over and just reinforce it with a couple sticks of hot glue just to really keep these two pieces together. Since I'm waiting for all that hot glue to dry, I literally put almost 2 sticks of glue back there. I'm gonna go ahead and place the hanger for this angel on the back, and it's just my go-to method of using twine. This hanger is 3 strands of twine tied together on each end with a knot, and I'm just gonna place it on the back here at the top of the dress where it gathered together and use a generous amount of hot glue, probably another stick of hot glue to hold this hanger in place. Now on the front side, in the center of the wings where we gathered them together, I'm gonna place another stick of hot glue there, and I'm gonna place my angel head there. I tell you, if Kayla were watching this DIY doing a voiceover on it, she would be telling you that we probably need a whole pack of glue sticks for this DIY. She thinks it's funny how much hot glue I use, but hot glue is great. You can hot glue anything, right? Now we've got to pretty up our angel a bit. And so to do that, I think our angel needs hair. And for hair, you guessed it, I am using twine. I think that twine is going to go great with the color of distress that I used. If you want to use yarn, you could use yarn. If you wanted to make hair out of the paper towel, you could do that by just cutting real thin strips and twisting it as well. I really just love twine. You all know that I do, and so it wouldn't be one of my DIYs if I didn't somehow incorporate this into it. And I figured that the best way to do that was to use it for hair. And I tell you, it looks amazing by the time I'm done. When I do the hair, I am finding the center point on the top of my angel head as the point where I'm going to place one side of my angel's hair and the other. So I guess in essence, it would be where the part of your hairline would be. And I'm gonna just hot glue them side by side, making it look like strands of hair. It took about, I wanna say, 20 strands per side is what I did. Yeah, it's kind of a tedious process, but I love the look of it because what I love about it is that the twine is rolled on the spool, so it gives those natural curls that look like curls and hair. And so I love that. And so again, I'm gonna just place some twine on both sides, and it was about 20 to 25 pieces on each side, making sure that I have a part in the middle. look at how stinking beautiful that looks. Yes, my hair is uneven, but I wasn't sure what length I wanted to go with, and so I went a bit longer so I could trim it up. My angel needs some bangs. I want to go with some bangs, and so once I've got the sides done, I'm gonna go ahead and just hot glue some bangs right across the top there. We have got a full face of bangs, but I wanted to show you how I did it. We're gonna trim it up. I also wanted to show you how where the part meets for the two sides of hair, I put a couple strands of twine to cover that up, and I also put a couple strands where the bangs were just to cover up all those edges as well. I want to add some rosy cheeks to my angel, so to do that I'm going to use some oil pastels in the color of pink and red and just kind of use a mixture of both of them, and using a Q-tip and just kind of rubbing the Q-tip onto each of the oil pastels, you can apply it to your surface. You could also use a marker and a paintbrush. If you just kind of run your paintbrush along the tip of a pink or a red marker, it will come off onto the bristles and you can apply it that way as well. Or, like so many of you have suggested to me, why I never thought of this myself, your makeup will work. To actually do the features of her face, I find it easier to use a marker or a pen and draw it on before I actually paint it. And so I decided just to go in with my fine tip brown Sharpie marker and add or draw in the eyes. I feel like it's easier to do features when you relate them to something easy, like in this instance it would be parentheses or a wide C. I feel like when we try to draw things, sometimes we overthink it and we think that we can't do it, but when you use something as basic as a parenthesis, which we all know how to do, or a wide C or the base of a U, it makes it easier to relate to. And so that's what I did for both the eyes and her nose. I did a real small one that you can't see yet, but you'll see it here in a second. And for the mouth, I'm doing just a basic mouth too. Just a big wide parenthesis with 2 for the cheeks. I know it's a bit out of order, but before I paint my angel's face on, I wanted to attach the halo so I could just kind of let everything dry all at once. So I'm gonna hot glue the halo and the stick together. Then I'm just gonna take the halo and hot glue it to the back of my angel's head. And again, reinforce it with more hot glue, maybe another stick on the back just to keep it from wobbling around. Now I am ready to go back in with a very fine paintbrush and using more of that Renaissance brown that I used for her halo. I'm just gonna go over the Sharpie marker just to kind of tie it in so it doesn't look like it was a marker that I used on her face. I stay true to my nature. In looking at this angel, I kept feeling like something was missing, and I thought, you know what? It is missing one of my twine bows. I feel like just adding this twine bow to the bottom corner of her dress is the perfect finishing touch. I feel like it just ties in all of the colors. It adds that perfect little something to her dress, whether it be a twine bow or a twine flower, or even I thought that it would have been super cute to add a pocket out of the paper towel with stitching on it. Oh my word. Endless possibilities of what you can do with this DIY. I know that you saw this twine bow in earlier clips, and for some reason when I was editing this video, everything just seemed to go out of order, and I just was trying to put everything back in the order that it was supposed to go in, but heck, you know me, you know I'm gonna finish it off with a twine bow, and that's just what I did, and I love it. I am so in love with this DIY. Who would have thought that you can make something so beautiful out of paper towels? I can't wait to bring you more DIYs using paper towels. I say get creative with these angels, make them your own. Just by switching up the colors, you can really change the look of these. angels out of paper towel. Look at how rustic and gorgeous these angels turned out. I absolutely love these. I'm gonna say that this is probably my #1 favorite Christmas DIY that I've done in a really long time. The outcome is amazing. What's great is that you can really do these angels on any scale if you wanted to, as big or as little as you wanted. And I love that it can be done out of paper towel. Once I did these, my mind started going in overdrive with what I could do with paper towel. I will tell you that this roll of paper towel is one that I've used for the angels only, and this is what's left of it, and I've made 4 angels out of it. And so I've still got quite a bit of paper towel left, and so one roll is gonna go a really long way. And who wouldn't love to open up a box and pull open that tissue paper and look down and see these gorgeous angels as a gift? I just love them, and really I think that if I thought I had some Christmas gifts figured out for some people already, I've totally changed my mind, because these definitely take the cake. I hope you all enjoyed today's DIY and what I turned paper towel into. You will have to stay tuned for more DIYs using paper towel, because boy oh boy do I have a lot more coming to you. Please make sure to give this video a big thumbs up, and let's get this video to, you guessed it, 5,000 likes. No, let's make this one 6,000 likes, because each and every one of your thumbs up and those comments that you do leave down below, they really do help my channel to grow, and it helps YouTube to notice me just a bit more. Until next time, everybody, I hope you have a fantastic day. Happy crafting on a budget. Stay happy, stay safe, stay healthy, but most of all, please stay positive, and bye for now.